international educator.
Hello learner, welcome to Eastern Government Secondary Revision, and during our lesson today or during our revision today we'll be dealing with the history that will cover Form 1, Form 2, Form 3 up to Form 4. So I believe it will be very beneficial to you as historians. Let's now start with our first question. Explain 6 negative effects of British colonial rule on the people of Kenya. Explain 6 negative effects of British colonial rule on the people of Kenya. So before we go very far, we need to identify key terms that will help us understand the question. For example, in that question we need to understand what does it mean by the term explain. Then we'll go further to look at the meaning of negative effects. Then later we can look at what do we refer to colonial rule. So we need to understand we talk of the key terms, and we emphasize as a student, before you start answering that question, first underline the main terms. They will help you understand the question better. So let's go on. The first term or the key term that you need to understand is explain. And when we talk of explain, we are saying something, you make it plain or you make it clear. But most importantly, you need to quantify how and why something happens. So as a historian, you must make it clear, but you must give an explanation why and how something happens. Is when you score on a question of explain. The second term that we need to understand, remember the question was about negative effects. So you must give only negative effects. So when we talk of negative effects, we are talking of something that have bad effects or reduce good effects of something. So remember, an event might have both positive and negative. But when we talk of negative, we are talking of something that has bad effects or reduces good effects of something. So let's now go back and remember what the question wanted. We've already dealt with the key terms. Let's go back a bit and remember our question. The question was about explain 6 negative effects of British colonial rule on the people of Kenya. So we've understood the key terms. Let's now go to what we think were the negative effects. The first one, colonial rule led to loss of political independence in Kenya. And this one you can easily explain. Our main point there is loss of political independence in Kenya. When the British came into Kenya, all people in Kenya were put under their rule, and that we can easily get when Kenya was declared the British Protectorate in 1895. With that alone, all Kenyan people, or a Kenya as a country, or a Kenya as a colony by that time, was supposed to be ruled by the British. So we lost our political independence at that stage. The second negative effects of the British colonial rule on the people of Kenya was the creation of African reserves. And here we need to be very clear. When the British came to Kenya, economic reasons were of more importance to them. For example, they wanted to introduce plantation agriculture, or in other words, we can talk of cash crop growing. But land was a problem. So the only way out to get land to introduce cash crop growing was to create African reserves.